Hi students, we are in the first chapter of chemistry CBSE 10th standard, chemical reactions and equations. Chemical reactions taking place are represented by fully balanced chemical equations. Number of atoms of each type involved in a reaction are the same on the reactant as well as the product side of the equation. A chemical equation. We have unbalanced chemical equation and a balanced chemical equation. A chemical equation is balanced in order to satisfy the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass states that matter can be neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Chemical reaction takes place or occurs. One or more of the following changes take place. 1. Change in state. Maybe the reactant side, both the reactants are gas, it changes to liquid when it happens when water is formed. Hydrogen gas combined with oxygen gas to form water, which is in liquid state. It's change in state. Second one, change in color. There are many reactions which take place. We see that there is a change in color. And the third one is evolution of gas. Gases like carbon dioxide or oxygen is being evolved while chemical reaction takes place. And the fourth one is change in temperature. Temperature change, that is, it may be hot, it may be cold, exothermic and endothermic. Okay, these are the 4 changes that normally takes place during a chemical reaction. 1 or 2 or more of these changes can take place during a chemical reaction. Now, how is a chemical equation written? Okay, we write first the symbols of the atoms or compounds in a straight line. The reactant side is being separated from the product side with an arrow mark which indicate produce, or we say meaning produce. And if there are more than one reactant, each of the reactant is being separated by a sign plus in between. Okay, if it is reactant, it means reacts. I'll show you how it is represented. And the same thing is that for products also. If there are more than one product, it is being separated by a plus sign. I'll show you how it is written. So the chapter name is Chemical Reactions and Equation. So how a chemical reaction or chemical reactions equation is being represented, I'll show you. Okay, for example, if magnesium react with hydrochloric acid or hydrogen chloride, magnesium chloride plus hydrogen gas is being evolved. So I will show you how it is being represented by an equation. Magnesium and hydrogen chloride are the reactants. Products are magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. So these are the reactants and these two are the products. So this magnesium react with hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid to form magnesium chloride and hydrogen. So here these are reactants, so in between you have to put an arrow mark which indicates produce. And here 2 reactants are there. There should be a plus sign here. That means magnesium react with hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid to form magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. So here also there should be a plus sign. So this is how you represent a chemical equation. Students, what do you mean by a skeletal equation? An unbalanced chemical equation is generally known as a skeletal equation. We didn't balance it. It's a normal equation itself. We say it's a skeletal equation. generally, normally, as chemical equation will not obey the law of conservation of mass. Normally, there are equations which characterize chemical equation itself obeys. Okay, generally it does not obey. So, in order to make it obey the law of conservation of mass, what we do? We balance the chemical equation. So, I will write an example. Here, hydrogen gas react with oxygen gas to form water. It's an unbalanced chemical equation, it's a skeletal equation. But we can see it does not obey the law of conservation of mass. We'll see how it is. Hydrogen atomic mass of hydrogen is 1, so molecular mass will be 2 because it is H2. When we add with oxygen here, oxygen O2, dioxygen, so it will be 32. 16 is atomic mass and molecular mass of O2 is 32. When we add, we getting 34 atomic mass, AMU or gram, whatever. Okay, whereas here we can see H2O. H2 is 2 plus 1 oxygen, so molecular mass is 18 gram or 18 U. So we can see the law of conservation of mass is not obeyed here. So in order to make it obey, in order to make the equation obey the law of conservation of mass, what we generally do is balance an equation. So we say it's a balanced equation. So the later stage of this class we will learn how to balance a chemical equation. So here, how to balance it, we'll see. Okay, and we'll see both sides what is the molecular mass. Okay, so here H2, here also H2, it's already balanced. But oxygen, here it's O2 and here is only one O. So in order to make it balanced, you have to put 2 here, not in between. Here you cannot put it. You have to put in here before the molecule or the compound or the atom. Okay. Here choose. Now here oxygen is being balanced, whereas hydrogen now becomes unbalanced. So you have to make it balanced here. You put it 2 here. Now check both. There are 2 elements here. One is hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen 4, here also 4. Okay, oxygen 2, here also 2. So it is balanced. We will check now the molecular mass in the reactant side as well as the product side. And we will see whether it obeys the law of conservation of mass. Okay, we will see. Here, H2, earlier we said H2 it was molecular mass 2, now it is 2H2, so it will be 4 here. Plus O2, as before, it was 32 gram, again 32 itself, so this becomes 36 gram. Whereas when you come here, earlier we have seen H2 it was 18, so now 2 into 18, it becomes 36 gram here also. That means now the reactant side is 36 gram, as well as in the product side also it is 36 gram. So it obeys the law of conservation of mass. So in order to make it obey the law of conservation of mass, we balance a chemical equation. Understood? Students, now we'll see how to balance a chemical equation. Earlier we have seen one example, but we'll come into a little more complicated example and we'll see how a chemical equation is being balanced. Okay? So Fe react with H2O to form Fe3O4 plus H2. We'll see how it is being balanced. Fe, iron, react with moisture, water, Fe3O4 plus H2. You can see here in the product side 3 Fe, in the reactant side only 1 Fe. Hydrogen is already balanced, but you can see oxygen here, only 1 oxygen in the reactant side, in the product side 4 oxygen. So you have to make it balanced to obey the law of conservation of mass. You'll see how it is done. Normally there is a long procedure for you. You will just have the hit and try process. Just hit and try. Okay, how it is, I will explain it. So you just write in the reactant side what are all that, and the product side always what are. Okay, Fe, hydrogen and oxygen are the elements present here. In the reactant side 1 Fe, in the product side it is 3. Okay, hydrogen in the reactant side it is 2. And the product side also it is 2. It's already balanced. But it may affect in the later stage, we will see that. Oxygen, in the reactant side it is 1, in the product side it is 4. So here, accordingly, we have to balance iron and oxygen. We will see how it is being done. So what I told you, it is hit and try. You are just trying. Okay, now here as it is Fe3, or for Fe3, here only Fe, we will put here 3. Now iron is being balanced in the reactant as well as the product side. We'll come to the next one, but that was oxygen. Oxygen, how much here? 4. And oxygen, how much in the reactant side? Only 1. So you have to put here 4. I told you before also, you have to put in before the molecule or the compound, not in between. You cannot balance putting in between. You have to put in the beginning itself. Okay. So 4 here. Now oxygen is being balanced, iron is being balanced. You can see now iron is now here reactant side also 3. Right. Product side also 3. Now oxygen in the reactant side it is 4 and product side also it is 4. But hydrogen, if you see hydrogen it is 4 here and it is hydrogen is 8 here, H2 into 4. So 2 into 4, 8 hydrogen here in the reactant side, whereas in the product side it is only 2. So what we are going to do is put 4 here. So now it also become the reactant side as well as product side it is 8 now. And it is now balanced. We will see 2-3 more examples. Okay, how to balance a chemical equation. And there is a complicated case where a diatomic molecule comes, and in the reactant side and the product side, one side will be odd and the other side will be even. In that condition, how to balance? I will take 2 examples because students like you find it a little difficult to balance such equations. I will show you how to balance it. Okay, students, now we will see more examples of how to balance a chemical equation. Okay, we will see more examples of how to balance a chemical equation. So the next one is N2, nitrogen molecule, react with hydrogen molecule to form ammonia. Okay, nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to form ammonia. So you see it's not balanced. It's a skeletal equation, it's not balanced. So there are 2 elements present, that is nitrogen and hydrogen. In the reactant side, how much, and in the product side, how much will say. The reaction side, nitrogen, 2 nitrogen are there present, and in the product side, it's only 1. Whereas hydrogen, in the reactant side, it is 2, and in the product side, it is 3. So now we'll see how to balance the equation. So in order to balance, first we will balance nitrogen. So the reactant side is 2 and the product side is 1. So if you put 2 over here, now the nitrogen in the reactant side as well as the product side is 2. So it's already balanced. But when we go to hydrogen, it's 2 here and it's 3 into 2, 6. So you have to balance. How to balance? Here it is H2. So you have to put here 3. So now 3 into 2, 6 hydrogen here, as well as 6 hydrogen in the product side. So it's been balanced. So we'll take one more example. Hope you understood. Nitrogen and hydrogen is being balanced. We'll take some other example where copper react with oxygen to form CuO, copper oxide. Okay, this reaction normally takes place when we heat. Heat energy has to be absorbed. Okay, so here you can see there are again 2 elements in the reactant side, here copper 1 and here product side also copper 1. Oxygen in the reactant side it is 2, whereas in the product side it is 1. So you have to balance now oxygen. Copper is already balanced. See if the balance is being altered, you have to change it again. So O2 here, it is CuO here. So if you put 2 over here, oxygen is being balanced now. Okay, oxygen is now balanced. But copper is now not balanced. Oxygen is being balanced, whereas copper is not balanced. So how to balance it? So here, if you put 2 over here, now copper is also balanced, oxygen is also balanced. It obeys the law of conservation of mass. Okay. Now, as I told earlier, there are few examples where it will be difficult for you to balance. I told no. Here also it is diatomic molecule, but here it was not as difficult. But you can see some examples where students struggle to balance a chemical equation. I'll teach you how to do that. It comes normally when we get to balance an equation which contains diatomic gas like O2, H2, Cl2, etc. And in one side of, that is in the reactant side, it is odd or even number. In the product side, it is odd or even. Hence, one side it is odd and other side it is even. At that time, you find it a little difficult to balance the chemical equation. So I will teach you, I will take 2 examples for that, and I will teach you how to balance those equations also. Okay, so we'll see how to react those equations. Now, see, you can see when H2S gas, hydrogen sulfide, react with oxygen, we get water and sulfur. Hydrogen sulfide react with oxygen to get water and sulfur. In such a chemical equation, you can see hydrogen is already balanced. I'll write it over here. Hydrogen is already balanced. What are the elements present here? Hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen. In the reactant side, in the product side. In the reactant side, how much hydrogen? 2. In the product side also 2. Okay. Sulfur in the reactant side 1, the product side also 1. oxygen. That is the only thing which I have to balance now. But it's not easy. I will tell you how to do it. Oxygen in the reactant side it is 2, in the product side it is 1. This is what I told you. In one side, the diatomic molecule is even, and the other side it is odd. So in that condition, how to do it? Okay, what to do? I will explain it now. Okay. Now, what you have to do is leave the diatomic molecule. What I told? Leave the diatomic. Don't touch that. Okay, leave that one aside. O2, leave that aside. Double the other elements or the compounds. Double. More, you increase it. So double. This will be 2 here. This will be 2 here. This will be 2 here. I told that diatomic molecule, don't touch that. Keep it aside. Okay. And the other elements or other molecules or other compounds, just double the number. Double the mole. Okay. So now it was only H2S here. I made it 2 H2S. It was only H2 here. I made it 2 H2. It was only S here. I didn't touch this one. Okay. Now what you have to see? You will see what is hydrogen number here. It is 4. It is double. It is 4 here also. Okay. Now sulfur it is 2 here because H2S 2 times 2 here. Here also 2. Now still you see it's 2 here and here also it became 2. Automatically it's been balanced now. But there are few examples when we double the other than the elements, diatomic elements, it will not be automatically balanced. We have to balance it afterwards. We will see one example with that. Okay, we will see one example with those. Okay, okay. We'll see an example where aluminum react with oxygen. You know the formula of aluminum oxide is Al2O3. Yes. Okay. So aluminum react with oxygen to form Al2O3, aluminum oxide. Aluminum react with dioxygen O2 to form Al2O3. Okay, so which are the elements? Only 2 elements here. What are they? Aluminum and oxygen. In the reactant side, aluminum 1. In the product side, aluminum 2. In the reactant side, oxygen 2. In the reactant product side, reactant 3. The product side, oxygen 3. Okay, so as I told you before, it's a perfect example. As I told, diatomic molecule, one side even, another side odd. And as before, the other elements are also, the before example, the other elements are already balanced. Here it is not balanced. So you can see how it has to be done. So you have to balance aluminum first. Aluminum, it is Al2 here. So if you put 2 over here, aluminum is being balanced now. If you put 2 over here, aluminum is being balanced now. Okay. Now the same step what I told earlier. What you have to do? Just leave O2 aside. Okay. Leave O2 aside. Double the other compounds, other molecules. So here it was already 2, it will be double, it will be 4 here. Okay, and here it is 1 here, so you have to put 2. Okay, now aluminum became here 4 in the reactant side, 4 in the product side. We see oxygen now. Oxygen in the reactant side it is 2 itself, whereas in the product side it becomes now 6 because 3 O3 3 into 2 6. Now comes the next step. Earlier example it was already balanced, now it's not balanced. So in order to balance it, what you have to do? Put a 3 over here. Now this also becomes 6 and this is being balanced. So in the next video I will be coming up with some more examples, questions and answer sections where I will teach you more of balancing equations. So now I will go to my next topic. Types of chemical reactions. Friends, now we will discuss on the types of chemical reactions. We have mainly 5 types of chemical reactions. 1. Combination reaction or composition reaction. 2. Decomposition reaction or decombination reaction. 3. Displacement reaction. 4. Double displacement reaction. And the 5th one is dissociation reaction. Yeah, we have many more types of reactions like oxidation, reduction, redox reaction, then endothermic reaction, exothermic reaction, neutralization reaction, and precipitation reaction. All these examples I will be discussing later. Mainly I focus on this five types of reaction, that is combination reaction, decombination reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction and dissociation reaction. First one, combination reaction. Combination reaction is a reaction of 2 or more substances. Okay, 2 or more substances, that can be element or even compound, which produce a bigger product. For example, N2, nitrogen, combines with 3 moles of hydrogen to give 2 moles of ammonia. We have discussed this. This is a balanced chemical reaction. We discussed in while balancing reactions. Okay, here smaller molecule of nitrogen and smaller molecule of hydrogen combine together to form a compound, a bigger molecule, ammonia. So this is an example of combination reaction. Combination reaction is reaction of 2 or more substance, that can be an element or a compound, combines together to form a bigger product. Okay, we'll come to the next type of chemical reaction, that is decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction is a reaction in which compounds split up into 2 or more simpler substances. It can be element or a compound. It split up into 2 or more smaller compounds or elements. This type of reaction is known as decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction can be subdivided into 3. Okay, that I will discuss now. We are discussing about decomposition reaction. As I told, it can be subdivided into 3. 1. Thermal decomposition. 2. Photo decomposition reaction. And third one is electrolytic decomposition. Okay, as I told you, decomposition reaction is a reaction in which compounds can be split up into 2 or more smaller, simpler substances. When it takes place in the presence of heat, we say it is thermal decomposition. Okay, when it takes place in the presence of heat, when decomposition reaction takes place in the presence of heat, it is known as thermal decomposition. I'll give you an example. Calcium carbonate. when you heat calcium carbonate, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas is being formed. Repeat, calcium carbonate, when you heat, that is why it's split up into two compounds, two smaller compounds. When a bigger substance is heated, so as it takes place in the, when we keep heat, only this type of chemical reactions take place. That's why it is known as thermal decomposition reaction. So thermal decomposition reaction, a bigger compound splitting up into two or more compounds or elements when in the presence of heat. It is known as thermal decomposition. Okay, so the next one, second one was photolysis or photodecomposition reaction. Photodecomposition reaction, the reaction which takes place, the decomposition reaction which takes place in the presence of light. Photo means light. Silver chloride in the presence of light gives silver plus chlorine gas. Silver bromide in the presence of light gives silver plus bromine. So these are the example of photodecomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction which takes place in the presence of light is known as photodecomposition reaction. So I will give you the example. AgCl gives Ag plus Cl2. So here is Cl and here Cl2, so balancing. It will be 2 AgCl giving you 2 Ag plus Cl2. This is an example, and this takes place in the presence of light, and that's why it is known as photodecomposition reaction. And the next decomposition reaction is electrolytic decomposition reaction or electrolysis. Electrolytic decomposition reaction or electrolysis. Electrolytic decomposition reaction. So the perfect example for electrolytic decomposition reaction is water, H2. When you heat it, you get H2 plus, it's not heating, in the presence of electricity. You get H2 plus O2. When you balance, it will be 2 here and 2 here. So this is electrolytic decomposition reaction, or otherwise we say electrolysis. When it is water, we say hydrolysis also. Okay, this is an example for electrolytic decomposition. These are the three types of decomposition reaction. First one is thermal decomposition reaction. Second one is photodecomposition reaction. And third one is electrolytic decomposition reaction. In the presence of heat, in the presence of light, and in the presence of electricity. So we'll come to the next type of chemical reaction. The next type of chemical reaction is displacement reaction. The name is suggests displace, substitute, displace. Okay, we'll see what it is. It's a chemical reaction where an element which is more reactive displaces an element which is less reactive. Okay, an element which is more reactive displaces the element which is displacement reaction. Displacement reaction is a chemical reaction where an element which is more reactive replaces or displaces the element which is less reactive. This type of chemical reaction is known as displacement reaction. I will give an example. Zn, zinc, combines with or react with copper sulfate to give zinc sulfate plus copper. Here, zinc is more reactive than copper. Zinc is more reactive than copper. So that is why zinc displaces copper becomes zinc sulfate and copper is being displaced. This type of chemical reaction is known as displacement reaction. We had earlier discussed magnesium react with hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid. That is also an example, perfect example of displacement reaction. Magnesium react with hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid to give magnesium chloride plus hydrogen gas. Here, magnesium is more reactive than hydrogen. That is why magnesium replaces hydrogen. It combines with chlorine to form magnesium chloride, and hydrogen gas is being evolved. This is an example of displacement reaction. Now, next topic is double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. It's a reaction in which the two reacting molecules exchanges their partner ion. That means the cation and anions are being interchanged. Okay, double displacement reaction is a reaction in which two reacting molecules exchange their partner ions. We'll see an example. Okay, the example is it's double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. Okay, here silver nitrate react with sodium chloride to give silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. Silver nitrate react with sodium chloride to give silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. Double displacement. They are interchanging the cation and anion. You can see here with silver it is nitrate, but here it's with silver it is chloride, and here with sodium it is chloride, and here with sodium it is nitrate. It is being interchanged. Partner ions are being exchanged. This type of chemical reaction is known as double displacement reaction. The next type of chemical reaction is dissociation. A dissociation reaction. It's a type of chemical reaction where a substance breaks up into its positive and negative ion when treated with water. This type of chemical reaction is known as dissociation reaction. Okay, when a substance breaks up into its positive and negative ions when treated with water, it's called dissociation reaction. You see. Dissociation. Here, acetic acid CH3COH react with water to form acetate CH3COO minus plus this H plus combines with H2O to form hydronium ion H3O plus. So the positive and negative ions are being split in the presence of water. This type of chemical reaction is known as dissociation reaction. Okay. Now this was one main type of reactions. Now we'll come to some special type of reactions which is also there in your syllabus. Precipitation reaction. When two aqueous solution is mixed and one of the product form is insoluble, it gets precipitated. It will come, the sediments will come and settle down as it is not soluble in that reaction mixture. This type of reaction is known as precipitation reaction. Earlier example when I discussed double displacement reaction, The example what was given is an example for precipitation reaction also, because the product from AgCl will form a white precipitate. It will come, if you do that chemical reaction in the test tube, it will settle down. Silver chloride will settle down and white precipitate will be obtained, silver chloride. Now we'll see the chemical examples for precipitation reaction. Okay. Precipitation reaction is a double displacement reaction in which one of the product form will be insoluble and it will precipitate. It will form a sediment and it will settle down in the test tube. Okay, this type of reaction is known as precipitation reaction. You will see the example. Barium chloride, PaCO2, combines with sodium sulfate to form barium sulfate plus sodium chloride. So it is balanced now. One here, Na2, 2Na. Yeah, it's balanced now. So this is an example for precipitation reaction. Here BaSO4 arrow towards downwards shows that it is insoluble and settled down. So it's a precipitate, or we write just PPT to just designate that it is a precipitate. And this type of chemical reaction is known as precipitation reaction. And one more example I have discussed: silver nitrate AgNO3 plus NaCl, sodium chloride, forms, or you have discussed already NaCl. I will take here KCl, potassium chloride, react with sodium nitrate, silver nitrate to give AgCl, silver chloride plus KNO3, potassium nitrate. Silver nitrate react with potassium chloride to give silver chloride and potassium nitrate. Here this AgCl will form a white precipitate. It will settle down in the the test tube. So this type of reaction is known as precipitation reaction. Now we will discuss some more type of reaction. One is exothermic and endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction, I always tell my students, exothermic in the hall, in any auditorium, if you enter, exit and enter, both will be there. Exit means towards out, enter means towards in. Here thermic, these are all thermic reactions, thermal, heat. Exothermic reactions are reactions where heat is being given out. Okay, and endothermic reactions are reactions where heat is being absorbed. Exothermic reactions are heat is being given out, and endothermic reactions are reactions where heat is being absorbed. Okay, now we'll go to oxidation reactions. Oxidation reactions are chemical reactions where oxygen or any electronegative element is added, or hydrogen or any electropositive elements are being removed in a chemical reaction. We say it is an oxidation reaction. I will give you an example. I told oxygen or any electronegative elements are being added, or hydrogen or any electropositive elements are being removed. We generally say this type of chemical reaction is an oxidation reaction. We'll see. So sulfur plus O2 gives you SO2. Sulfur. Here the product. So this is oxidation reaction. Example. Okay, I told you also when hydrogen or any electropositive elements are being removed, then also we say it is an oxidation reaction. Okay, H2S plus I2 gives you Hi plus, this is also an example of oxidation reaction. Here See, H2S contains hydrogen and hydrogen is being removed and sulfur alone is being formed here. So this is an oxidation reaction. Now next is reduction. This is the entirely opposite of this one. Next is reduction. Okay, entirely opposite. Reduction. So okay, what is reduction then? Reduction is addition of hydrogen or any electropositive element or removal of oxygen or any electronegative element. Okay, I will repeat. Reduction is a chemical reaction where hydrogen or any electropositive element is added or oxygen or any electronegative elements is being removed. This is known as reduction. Okay, I will give you example. Reduction example I will give you. When you remove oxygen or any electronegative element, or when you add hydrogen or any electropositive element. Okay, hydrogen. Okay, you get HCl. Okay, here hydrogen is being added to chlorine. Chlorine is getting reduced. So it is being reduced. So it is reduction. So here I forgot to explain while I was discussing oxidation. The agent or the substance which help to oxidize, when I was discussing S plus O2 to sulfur, which element or which molecule help to get it oxidized? It was O2. So O2 is the oxidizing agent there. Similarly, one more example I told you, H2S plus I2 giving you Hi plus S. Sulfur is getting oxidized because hydrogen is being removed. Which element or compound, which molecule helped them to get it remove the hydrogen? It was I2. So I2 was the oxidizing agent there. Similarly here, chlorine is getting reduced to HCl because hydrogen is being added. Which element or which compound or which molecule is helping that to take place? It is H2. So H2 is the reducing agent. This will be always this side, the reactant side. Okay, oxidizing agent or the reducing agent will be always found in the reactant side. Don't search it here. Okay, it will be here. So remember, the agent or the substance which help a molecule or an element or a compound to get reduced is known as reducing agent. So here it is H2 which is helping to reduce. Okay, I will take one more example. CuO, copper oxide, plus H2. Okay, gives you Cu plus H2O. So here oxygen is being removed from Cu. This is also a reduction. Here also to get reduced, H2 is helping, so H2 is a reducing agent. Hope all of you understood. Okay, I'll go to the next topic. It is redox reaction. Okay, redox reaction. Redox reaction. Okay, redox reaction is a chemical reaction where oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. Normally it takes place simultaneously, but we are particular about oxidation and reduction, so we'll see. Okay, see, we can take the same example which we took in the last, CuO plus H2 getting converted to Cu plus H2O. Here to hydrogen, oxygen is been added and it becomes water. So it is oxidation here. Here the oxygen is being removed from copper. So this is reduction. Okay. The reduction, first three letters RED. Oxidation, first two letters OX, combined together to form redox, and this type of reaction is known as redox reaction. Okay, this type of reaction is known as redox reaction. Now, the next is non-redox reactions. Next is non-redox reactions. Non-redox reactions are reactions where neither oxidation nor reduction is taking place. For example, HCl plus NaOH gives NaCl plus H2. This is an example for non-redox reaction, because in this particular reaction neither reduction nor oxidation is being taking place. So it's an example for non-redox reaction. Now I will come to the last topic of this lesson: oxidation in everyday life. So main topics are corrosion and rancidity.